Hey, more of the Kitchen Chronicles. Oh, damn. This is a disaster area, but hopefully it'll get better soon. That was a stove. It just doesn't work. I haven't had a stove in here. Oh, damn it. I just spilled some coffee on my rocker. So, technical difficulties. Hold on. Get it started. So, this is part two, and this is going to be about Beyonce's new photo shoot. I think it's in France. I actually didn't watch or read it. I just saw the pictures on. I was watching TV, and they said it. They said Beyonce is a racist or something. I don't know. Africa. Anyway, so this is about fashion. Anyway, you know me. I'm about to do Kanye. I'm gonna let y'all speak. I'm gonna let y'all say something, right? First, I want to say, as much as I seethe Beyonce, no, as much as I seethingly loathe Beyonce for copying my ideas. As much as Rihanna and Beyonce, as much as I loathe them and seethingly loathe them for the re-swag lies, even though if they gave me something, I wouldn't mind at all. Much as they copy my stilo, I got this to say about that photo shoot. Anybody who has a problem with that photo shoot is a racist. You're too ignorant. You're ignorant. Okay? You're ignorant. You know? If you have a problem with a black woman painting her face black, or darker so that she can look more like the image which she is projected, you need to be thankful. You need to be thankful that she is still bringing the African culture up front. Who's going to do that? Gwyneth Paltrow? As much as I love, what's her name? Natalie Portman. Who's going to do it? What's that sexy, smart mom girl? Chelsea lately? They would have to dye their hair and then do it. I think she put a wrap on her head. She put a wrap on her head and was like, I'm Africa. I'm Africa. And she is. Somewhat. I mean, we all are. But, anyway. So, if you're still sensitive, I mean, we got Avatar, right? Where white and black people can paint themselves blue so that they can pretend they are red Indian and make $1 billion gazillion dollars, right? Nobody has a problem with that. That just goes you show that black people are not really mature yet. They not. They not really, they not really together. I mean, I want to talk about that. So Beyonce, I tried to tell you, stay off my YouTube site. Stay off of my site. I love you, honey, but you know, stop. Just because, listen, Alonzo Von 3 is a brand name. You know, you don't have to go all the way over to France. You know, I'm Pop Daddy O back in Zillarilla. Anyway, so that it just goes to show, first thing, let me say about the shoot. I saw it. Either you have to be Alonzo Von 3 to understand what she was trying to copy my African cultural thing, the image identity, which I shot impromptu with Aminata. I did not actually, I wasn't sure I was going to go, and I had a day off, and so I got all those camera rigs and stuff and motion control systems, and I wasn't able to use it. And so to shoot the event, and I actually just, for that video, I had my Canon, and I was just a smaller camera to bring down there. It was snowing like heck that day, and so I just shot it. And I didn't even know the event or the timing or anything. I just happened to turn the camera on and not turn it off. And the sound came out pretty good, really good. Daughters of Sound. The Daughters of Creative Sound. Phenomenal song. That song is called Two Bells. And I just did great. And the event, Aminata is doing, Aminata is wonderful. I remember when she got started, I invited her to this fish dinner, and this place is closed. And we started talking about this, and then because I wanted to do something like that with at that time, and so it was good. It happened. And so it kind of gave me an experience, so it was growth there, on both ends, so I appreciate that. It was just good, just really being blessed. She's using her resources, and so she's able to do wonderful things with that, especially in Buffalo, which we need. And more so, as you can see, a lot of the cultural centers, the thing with Molly, I grew up painting. I'm an artist because of her. In part along with other people in my life who have greatly influenced. I did some of my best work, my paintings. I have never painted like that since, well, not like that, because my style changed directly after that, and especially even after I moved out of town, I did paint some more. But when I was in New York, I did not get a chance to paint. I was going to paint once. I might have done a watercolor, like for a birthday card or something like that. All my work is gone. Major riff. Speaking of Buffalo, major riff with my buddies. I just, they did something on the same entertainment channel where a lot of the stars were told very discouraging things about and rejected by their peers. And it's in the Bible. A prophet is without honor in his own hometown. So, it can't feel too bad, but it's painful. It's hurtful when your artist friends reject you. My favorite artist, who was a major influence on me growing up, and I'm the success that I have now. It's funny because I couldn't imagine being as successful as I am now, but it's not fully successful. That's why I don't brag. Like, people like to call me arrogant. But you can't be arrogant. You can't brag when you're not really where you want to be yet. You gotta wait till you get there. So I'm not where I want to be. So nobody has ever heard me bragging. Ever. I've never bragged because I always feel like I got more to learn, It's good and bad because I should really feel good about my work. But I do sometimes out of the reaction. So sometimes I feel the love, when somebody looks at my painting and then look me in the eyes, man, that's, And that is amazing. But I always give God the glory. So anyway, back to Beyonce, my girl in Africa. She went to France. And so I was reading some of the comments as I looked at the photos because, like I say, it reminds me of the uh, that shoot with the African women and stuff like that. And so you need to be really thankful that, you know, she is doing a tribute to that she took it upon herself to do this at this time, even though she got being me. But still, you know, that she did it. It's wonderful and it's beautiful. It's sexy. It's inspirational. You know, it's feedback. I'm going to grow because of it. I'm going to, you know, my vision of what this stuff should look like in the future is going to be keener because of what she's done is phenomenal. But number one, they're selling clothes, and that's what she does. And number two, she's an actor. So where did blackface come from? You know, that whole town. So actually, it's a face in the face of it's a slap in the. Some people say it's a slap in the face, but it's a slap in the face of blackface for a black woman to do that, and then, you know, to get all that riff behind it, you know, that's pretty deep, you know. So basically, if she had a tan, it would be okay, or if she dark enough. The nice thing nice thing I like about it is like me or her could not play certain roles because we not dark enough, and that look is beautiful, you know. With the robes and the Arabs and the Islamic. I wouldn't say it's Islamic, you know, but just that kind of, you know, covered, you know, that nice, you know, cultures that are more, their femininity is more sacred, modest, or whatever, you know, or humble, whatever you want to call it. But she is for her to project that image as well. And so there was one image where they were contrasting the two. And so I thought it was a beautiful piece of artwork. You know, I would have done it better, of course. Just joking. Just joking about that. Just saying I would like work. I like to do something. But I want to say something too about that. Nobody can compete with what's in my mind. Why? Because it's in my mind. So I'm not concerned. You know, hopefully it won't stay there. But then, you know, you can beat me to market. You know, you can't beat me to doing what I got to do, which is what I'm concerned about as an artist, you know. So, but, you know, my whole ideal of art and business is always developing, always changing, and always growing. So I'm more focused on the business end. And so you have to look at the business end of what they did or what she did. And that being, when you look at that, you know, that's a whole black cultural thing. And as an artist and as an African American artist, you know, I'm twofold hit. I get hit twice. Okay. They're like, okay, when I was in New York, one thing they said is you don't look like an artist. Because I was suit and tie a lot. Or, you know, I didn't have red hair or shave, you know, or wear piercings or tattoos or any of that. Because it's internal to me. It's not outward. I am an artist. I think everything about me is an artist. But, you know, but also, so, but in Buffalo, when you say black artists, then there's the other expectation, which is very limiting. And to me, is that you're expected to do black art or do black, you know, as a black artist. So this is part of my African Black History Month convo here, the circle of discussion. It's like, I've never felt, I did very early on, I did Marcus Garvey paintings, Charlie Parker. You know, I was like 16 years old. My first commission painting, oil painting or something like that. I was working at an African art store where a guy, Bill Cooper, actually went to Africa to get imports. It's called Bora Sanaa. And so anyway, I was very heavily influenced, but it was all internal. So when you have these events, and when you have like the image and identity and things like that, I never really dress up for those, and though that's part of it, and that's part of the pride. And so I think this year I more or less felt the understanding of the pride, and actually, the reason why people dress like that is because to regain the self-esteem and pride of a culture of peoples, of African peoples whose culture were taken, stolen, lost, whatever, destroyed, however you want to call it, ravaged, ransacked, pillaged, however, desecrated, denigrated, whatever. So these things happen. And so there's the hurt and the pain. And so the whole process of this is to regain that type of dignity and esteem. And so, so I'm getting more of an understanding of that kind of stuff. And it is phenomenal. It's phenomenal to me. And so yeah, I think also, so jumping back point, there might be some people who take part in that festivity or that event and want to buy, the kind of high quality stuff she was wearing. That I mean, I'm sure that stuff costs a pretty penny. So there's an elevation. So I know a lot of the people that does that make their own and stuff like that. But there's not really like a designer market for that. And so it's nice to see that maybe as a break off the vision as of the African culture, but like let's say, the upper, I don't know what to call it, the more, the high end of that kind of quality. So I mentioned them in my last video, which I haven't posted yet, but I'm going to post after this. And I say, any more comments that I can have? I can say, it really shows you how sensitive people still are about that. I mean, when a black woman can't paint her face black, and it's just basically she just doesn't have the look. So it's just another thing. She can't afford to do her artistic expression. And so I just think it's wonderful. And I think the timing of it is what people really miss. Now, yes, I have a problem. It's probably white artists that did it, and so, therefore they may not be as sensitive. But that's another issue that I have, why does it have to be just black? So I posted the thing about Mali Oga's art school. And to me, when I think of my African artist history, there is this white person involved in it. And so I don't think that you should exclude, an instrumental white person, just somebody who has, served the black community for half a century. Mali can't get any funds. That's why I have a problem with Clinton. They set up those artists. Now, where Aminata is doing that stuff is an artist. It was sponsored by Clinton Artist Law Space, so rental spaces. Now, I tried to get a job there. I tried to get a place there, and I couldn't even get in there. And I'm about as much as artist as Buffalo, born and bred as can be. I'm an artist from here to the same point around around the circumference of the world. As far as that's concerned. What I'm saying is I do global sales and DVDs, not high volume, but I've done it. So if you want to talk, as Paul said in the Bible, if you want to say Greek, I'm about as Greek as you can get. If you want to say Jew, I'm about as Jew as you can get. You know, who better qualified? You know, that's what he said. So it's not bragging; it's factual. So, and you're being informed. So, you know, I couldn't get any space there, and so and which is a trip because I tried to talk to a Minita about uh, uh, using the space, and that space is locked up. You know, I haven't talked to her since then. She said she might be able to do something, but you know, in general, I talked to her at one point, and I don't think this is too personal, but it's just the place is just busy. So I couldn't live there. I couldn't get a space in there. And actually, my girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend from 20 years ago, that helped me helped me go to New York, lives in that space. I just saw her not too long ago where she told me she lives in there and is very artistically inspired. This is the the space I live in. This is where I could get, you know. And so yeah. So and this place is really restrictive. You know, I live downstairs from my father. He just told me don't one time he told me I'm not gonna say it. Anyway, you know, so as far as artistic freedom, it's all got to come from inside. You know, if I put something on, maybe it might help me, but you know, make me feel more motivated. But it's hard to be motivated here. I have to work very, very, very hard to work against the things that are working against me. Yeah. So long posts, but I think this is one of my better posts because you know I really said some personal things that are really heavy influence. I'm gonna try to stop it at an even number. So yeah. So anyway, so I just like I said, you know, you have places like Maliogas that have, Black History Month shouldn't only be about blacks, you know, and no, I think we just had the same issue when you talk about Disney and the Disney, you know, doing a black princess, the first black princess. So, I fought black people for that. I fought black people for not handling their own business, you know, and so that's why I'm going through my sacrifices or whatever I done. Now, you know, I think sometimes I ask myself, well, why was I more further ahead? I, you know what? I was not. Uh, I I'm not gonna go into it, but anyway, I'm not gonna go into it. But so I guess I'm running out of things to say. So I'm gonna just think of anything. I don't have any more, nothing more to say. I wish I like to end it on a good note though. So yeah, I am still looking for space. I am, but I don't know if I'm really ready for it. And there's still, you know, people think I'm just waiting and waiting and stuff like that. But you know, I am really thankful that I have tried to educate myself in some of the things. I'm back on the same topic that I don't know about and didn't learn. And some people might think I'm late because I don't know some of these things, but you know, until I was like 20 something, and my girlfriend took me, Teresa, that is down at that space that lives in that art space, that Clinton had put the spaces together. So that's a good point. Clinton had paid to get those artist law space, and I couldn't even get an apartment there, right? But I was walking by there, and a woman saw me. I don't know who this woman was, but I was like, oh, I was was just her there was space, and she like invited me into her house. She was cute too, but she had one of those beautiful spaces, had beautiful ceilings, and everything. It was just really wonderful, and it was beautiful. Matter of fact, the ceilings are so high, I could probably use my equipment and my camera equipment if I had one of those spaces. So I am still trying to work out the space. I have not been able to get down there, and I don't know if I'm, to be able to move my stuff down to another space away from this place. I don't know if that's good. So I'm just hoping, things will get better really soon, or even more than that, just me still just doing what I gotta do, you know. I'm not. I don't. I know it seems like, oh, you late and stuff like that, but for my profession and as an artist that I am and who I am, I'm not. I'm right on time, and it's none of the things could have happened as it happened. So I also mentioned about, oh man, I had a bitter battle, and it's over with. My friendship with artist colleague was just smithereens. It just, I'm not gonna mention his name, but it's just crazy. Some people, what could have happened? If you don't have the success or didn't do what it takes to get that success, or it just didn't happen, and not that it still can't, but the hate, I get hit with hate, man. I had a lot of stuff. I'm rambling. But a lot of stuff, I don't even see it. I don't even see it coming. I don't even know why you would take time to talk to somebody that you already hating on. If you hate them, I guess that other people want the opportunity to express that hate. I don't think you should express it. Neither should you be expressing hate on Beyonce for this. And I hope it's good controversy for her and the thing. And I hope that she should go ahead and get a movie role and paint herself black. It's okay. It's okay. You got men painting themselves up as women. That just shows you, if you mad at her, you racist still. You racist. I think even like what's his name? Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr. He was painting himself as a black man. You got Martin Owens painting themselves as a fat woman. You got Tyler Perry, But as soon as a pretty black woman want to make her stand, maybe they think she white. Somebody did say that. Oh, you mean Beyonce is black? Denise broke my cup. Shit, man. I ain't even gonna talk about women. Anyway. You ever, I had one girlfriend still calling me after I haven't talked to her in like 3 months. Still ringing my damn phone. Like, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Anyway, I got a project and I gotta focus on that. I got several projects. No, I couldn't get my hair cut. This is my mirror. God bless you all. Love you all.